Well, hello there. How's it going? Today I'm going to show you how to do the company letter. Just as a backstory, remember on the company letter, we are trying to get a small company, big company, local company, or nationwide company, a company to send us their product so that we can display it for the school to see. Any products that you receive back will be yours to keep. So hopefully that will entice you to want to write the best letter ever. We're trying to convince them that this is an opportunity for the company to, well, advertise at our school. So here we go. I'm going to show you how to do the company letter assignment, which is a block style letter, which is different than the one we did last week. Last week it was a modified block style letter. Now you're learning how to create a block style letter. All right, so I'm going to go, here I am in Google Classroom. I'm going to go to classwork, and under Google assignments, I'm going to find the company letter assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. Make sure you check out the rubric and before you turn it in to check and make sure that you got everything done. This is what I'm going to use to grade it. We're going to go ahead and click over here on the right where it says MS Test Student. And I'm going to open this up with Google Docs so that I can edit it out. So once it finishes opening, here we go. Let's follow the instructions. It says for this assignment, you'll be writing a formal block style letter to a company of your choice. To complete the assignment, you must do the following. All right, number 1 says go to Google Drive. Number 2 says choose new in Google Docs. And then number 3 says name the file company letter. All right, I think I can remember all 3 of those because I've done this before. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Google Drive. And I'm going to get inside of the Principles of Information Technology folder that I created. It'll just help me keep things organized. So I'm in there. Now I'm going to go to Docs because that's what kind of file I'm creating. And I'm ready to get started. I'm going to hit New and then Google Doc. And the instructions told me to name the file company letter. So I'm going to click up here in the top left corner, name it company letter. And I'm ready to get started. All right, let me go back to my instructions because I don't know what to do next. So here I am. Because I opened this up in Google Docs, I can actually highlight the stuff that I've gotten done. So I'm going to select it, click highlighter, and now I've officially marked that off my list. And I'm on number 4. Choose a plain black font that's no bigger than a size 12 and type the date left aligned on the first line of the letter. The date should be written out as, here's an example. Remember, do not abbreviate. Okay, so I come back to my letter. And I'm ready to start typing it. Now, a block style letter is everything is on the left. There's no indentations, there's no centering. So basically you're just typing it without having to center or indent. I've already gotten this type, so let me go ahead and go to my example letter here, and you can see what I'm talking about. Here's my letter. By the way, what I'm about to show you is everything that I did on instruction number 4 all the way down to number 12. 4 through 12 is what we're about to look at. I feel like you're probably going to have to go back and forth between the letter and the instructions to get all this done, simply because you may not remember the spacing. But here we go. You can do that on your own. Date is typed out. Notice it's not abbreviated. And it is on the left because, again, it's a block style letter. Now, between the date and my name and address, there's 4 spaces. And basically, I just type the date and then I hit enter 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I have my name and address as it's listed on the instruction sheet. Between my name and address and the company name and address, there's 2 spaces. So I hit enter twice. Now, how did I get this company address? Well, I went on Google and I just Googled. In this case, Coca-Cola Company mailing address. Sometimes you will get an address that's a street address. Sometimes you'll get an address that is a post office. So this is actually a post office box. It just depends on what you find. But the format is very important. On the top line, you have the company name. Then on the second line, you have either the mailing address or the post office box. And then on the third line, you have the city, state, and zip code. All right. So we have that in. When I finished typing the whole address, I hit enter twice. You can see there's a double space here. And I have my greeting. Dear Coca-Cola, followed by a colon. So it's pretty simple. You just put dear and whatever the name of the company is. Because we don't know the specific person that we're writing to at the company. Now, between the greeting and the first paragraph, there are 2 spaces. So I hit enter 2 times. Notice that the paragraph is not indented. That's because it's a block style letter. Everything's over on the left. Now, the instructions tell you in the first paragraph, you're explaining that this is a project for your school class. This is a project for your class at school. And if they send you something back, you get a free 100, which is the absolute truth. They will indeed, I will indeed give you a free 100 if somebody sends you something back. And just, put a third sentence because you've got to have 3 sentences and tell them, I chose you because your product's the best or whatever. Now, you do have to have good sentences with proper capitalization and punctuation. You don't want to send a letter out to a company and you haven't even bothered to capitalize the first letter of a sentence. You need to capitalize the first letter of a sentence, and you need to have proper punctuation, meaning a period or an exclamation point or a question mark to end a sentence. So 3 good sentences in the first paragraph. There's a double space between the first and second paragraph. So I hit enter twice. In the second paragraph, this is where you're offering them the opportunity to advertise. Okay, so they're going to be able to advertise their product at school. This is the paragraph where you're selling them on the idea of, hey, send me your product. I will share it with my classmates, and just think of how much more business that'll bring you. Something along that lines. This is an opportunity for the company to advertise. That's what you're going to put in that second paragraph. And the instructions tell you in 3 sentences or more, but I think if you're going to do it right, you're not going to be just typing 3 sentences. You're going to put more than that so that you can convince them, hey, send me something. Plus, you get to keep what they send you, so it'll be awesome. All right, between the second and third paragraph, there's a double space. And in the third paragraph, you're thanking them for reading the letter. There's only 2 sentences required for this. It's just basically summing up the letter. Thank them for reading your letter. And, remember, hey, if you send me something back, I'm going to get a free 100, and that would really help my grade. Something along those lines. Now, between the third paragraph and the closing, there's 2 spaces, so I hit enter twice. Your closing could be sincerely, it could be yours truly, best wishes, you choose. But basically, it's capitalized and there's a comma after it. Then there's 4 spaces between the closing and your name. Now, when you put your name, put your first and last name. Okay, so you'll type it in. Now, once we get this printed out, you're actually going to take a pen and sign your name in here before we mail it out. Okay, all right, so we're done with that part. Let's go back to the instructions. I have officially done numbers 4 through 12, so let me go ahead and highlight that so I know that it is done. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get this in the right one. Let's go to this one. There we go. I'm done with number 4 through 12. Click the highlighter and marked off. Okay, next says spell check. Okay, it's very important that you spell check. You don't want to send out a letter with a whole bunch of grammar and punctuation errors, okay? So when you see a word that's got a squiggly line under it, like this one, I have a red squiggly. It's misspelled. I'm going to right click on it. Now remember, the right click on a Chromebook is a 2-finger tap. Okay, so right click and Google goes, did you mean class? Why, yes, I did. And here, right click. Did you mean teacher? Why, yes, I did. So fix all of your misspellings. If it's got a squiggly line under it, right click on it and look at the suggestions and choose the correct option. You don't want to send out a letter with a bunch of grammar and spelling problems. All right, so I'm officially done with a spell check. Next thing that it says I need to do is I need to bold CO Mrs. Parker teacher and the address at the top of the page. So I go to the top of the page. Oh, I've already done this on a previous assignment. Hang on. Let's pretend like I don't have it. Okay, there we go. So I need to bold CO Mrs. Parker computer teacher. All right. So I'm going to highlight it and click the B. It's officially bolded. That is done. Next up, let me highlight it so I know that I got it done. Okay. Next up, it says share the document with the person who sits next to you. Make sure you share it as a commenter. So I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to hit share. And I'm going to share it, let's say with this one. Like that. Oh, hold on. Come back here. All right. So I want to share it as a commenter. So I'm going to make sure that it's turned on as commenter. And I'm going to turn this one off. Okay, there we go. And save. So it's very important that you save it as a commenter, that you share it as a commenter so that the person can comment on the problems and then you can go back in and fix it. Once you make those corrections, then you will turn it into me on Google Classroom. So we'll go to Google Classroom. Let me hit the back button here. And I'm going to click Add or Create. And it is on Google Drive. I'm going to choose the assignment, which is usually the first one sitting there. Just make sure you turn the right one in. It's turning it in. I'm going to hit Turn In. Then I'm going to hit Turn In again. And it's officially turned in. Now, I, the teacher, I'm going to grade it. And then once I grade it, you will make the corrections. And once those corrections are made, you will print it out and we will mail it to your company. So if you have any questions, let me know.